School taught you to get a good job. Financial gurus taught you to diversify your investments. Your parents taught you to work hard and climb the corporate ladder. But what if I told you that the men who built the foundation of the modern economy, the first billionaires like Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Ford, ignored almost all of that? They didn't climb the ladder. They built the entire building. They didn't diversify to get rich. They became obsessed with one single thing. In the next few minutes, you won't be learning about history. You'll be learning the lost secrets of wealth creation. These are the 4 habits of the titans of the last century, habits that modern schools and books have conveniently forgotten to teach you. Chapter 1, the cult of obsession, not diversification. The first piece of advice every beginner investor hears is diversify. It's good advice if your goal is to not lose money, but the titans of industry weren't playing not to lose. They were playing to win. And to win, they didn't diversify. They became obsessed. Think of John D. Rockefeller. In the beginning, he didn't invest a little in oil, a little in railroads, and a little in real estate. He became a religious fanatic of petroleum. He thought about kerosene in his sleep. He dreamed of the efficiency of pipelines. Legend says he was so obsessed with efficiency that he questioned the number of solder drops used to seal a can of kerosene. He found out they were using 40. He insisted they try with 39. It worked. That single drop of solder saved millions over time. Here's the truth no one tells you. Diversification is a strategy to preserve wealth, not to build it. Our modern culture of side hustles encourages us to have 5 projects at the same time. The result? Our energy is split into 5 and we become mediocre at all of them. The lesson from the last century is clear. Before you diversify your portfolio, first concentrate on becoming the absolute master of one skill, one market, one product. Your initial obsession is the jet engine that will finance all your future diversification. Chapter 2, controlling the game, not just playing it. If you want to sell steel, you buy steel and resell it for a profit, right? Wrong. At least for Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate. Carnegie thought on a different level. He asked himself, why pay a middleman for the iron mines if I can own the mines? Why pay for ships to transport the ore if I can own the ships? Why depend on railroads if I can own the railroads? This is called vertical integration. It's the habit of controlling the entire board, not just moving your pieces. While his competitors were busy playing the game of finance, Carnegie was buying the rules, the board, and the game itself. He understood that true wealth wasn't in the transaction, but in controlling the choke points of the industry. School teaches us to be good team players, to focus on our small task within the company. But the titans teach us to understand the entire system. The modern lesson is, don't just learn your job. Learn how your company actually makes money. Learn where your suppliers come from and where your customers go. Understand the flow of money throughout your entire industry. When you stop being just a piece and start seeing the whole board, you discover where the real opportunities for wealth are hidden. Chapter 3, turning expenses into assets. In 1914, Henry Ford did something that shocked the world. He more than doubled the wages of his factory workers to $5 a day. His competitors laughed. Wall Street called him a crazy socialist. It seemed like the biggest and most irresponsible expense in history. But Ford wasn't spending money. He was buying something far more valuable: loyalty, productivity, and a new market. With that salary, employee turnover, which was sky high, plummeted to almost 0. He attracted the best and fastest mechanics in the country. Production exploded. But here's the genius part no one saw at the time. He turned his own employees into his best customers. Suddenly, the men who built the Ford Model T could, for the first time in history, afford to buy one. He created his own demand. Common sense says cut all expenses. The millionaire habit says figure out how to turn your biggest expenses into your best investments. The lesson for today is powerful. Look at your spending. Is that expensive course an expense, Or is it an asset that will generate more income for you in the future? Is that software you pay for a cost? Or is it a tool that saves you time, your most valuable asset? Rich people aren't afraid to spend. They are afraid of spending badly. Chapter 4, the two-pocket rule, accumulation and contribution. It's easy to look at these men and think of them as greedy barons, and in many ways they were ruthless in business, but they operated with a mental habit that most of us forget, the two-pocket rule. In their left pocket, they kept the mindset of accumulation. Every penny counted, every efficiency maximized, every competitor crushed. This was the empire-building pocket. But in their right pocket, they had something different, the mindset of contribution on a scale never seen before. Andrew Carnegie, in his famous Gospel of Wealth, wrote that it was the moral duty of the rich man to distribute his fortune for the good of society. And he did it. Carnegie financed the construction of over 2,500 public libraries around the world. He didn't just donate money, he built the infrastructure for knowledge. Rockefeller donated the equivalent of billions of dollars to science and medicine, helping to eradicate diseases. They understood that wealth had two cycles, accumulation and distribution. Having a purpose for the money greater than just accumulating it for themselves was what drove them. The timeless lesson is this: if your only financial goal is to get rich, you will probably give up along the way. But if your goal is to build something, solve a problem, leave a legacy, money becomes a consequence, not the final objective. True wealth is not what you have, but what you can do with what you have. Obsession, not diversification. Controlling the game, not just playing it. Turning expenses into assets. And the two-pocket rule. These are not just habits from 100 years ago. They are timeless principles about how value is created in the world. School doesn't teach you this because the system is designed to create good employees, not owners of the system. But history has left clues for anyone willing to see. The question is, which of these lost lessons will you apply first? If this historical perspective on finance opened your mind, leave a like and subscribe to Risk of Success. Which of these habits shocked you the most? Share in the comments. See you in the next video.